Hello, dear friends. Every time someone insults me, he does me a favor, because he or she gives me an idea to write a piece, and my weapon is definitions, to clarify terms and avoid misunderstandings. Opinion piece. Modern spirituality. New cultural paradigm. Contemporary mysticism. Synonymous with intelligence. Spiritual but not religious. Birth of a new world. Independence from sects and religions. Collapse of all social systems. New wine cannot be put into old wineskins. People are reclaiming their individual power. The energy of change is sweeping the planet. Courageous beings want their freedom back. For thousands of years, we have lived under dictatorships. All spiritual rivers flow into the same ocean. All religions have distorted the original teaching. Religion has become a caricature of spirituality. Let's start. Some accused me of sectarism, sectarianism, and gave me an idea for this piece. Mixing spirituality with sectarianism is the same as confusing gymnastics with magnesia. Sectarianism is fanaticism and intransigence in the defense of an ideology. A sect is a closed community promoting or appearing to promote aims of a supposedly spiritual nature, in which the masters exercise absolute power over the followers. It is to say, a dictatorship and tyranny. I advocate just the opposite, which is freedom and spiritual independence, without dictating to anyone what to think or to do. Each to his home, because that is his right, or her right. That is why I answered a long time ago to a well-known person. A hermit does not wish to visit or be visited by anyone. He only aspires to be left to live in peace, which is not a small thing. That phrase cost me his friendship, because he didn't understand middle ground. Sometimes you have to put yourself in your place. When someone thinks they are superior to you, even if it is unpleasant. We are all nice until they touch our nose. Spirituality is a set of ideas concerning the spiritual life. A person is said to be spiritual when he or she is very sensitive or uninterested in material or worldly affairs. The spirit is a natural vigor and virtue that encourages and fortifies the body to act with courage, breath, verve, vigor, effort, vivacity, and ingenuity. Synonyms for spirit are soul, essence, substance, anima, principle, psyche, mood, interior, and heart. Synonyms for spiritual are soulful, intimate, emotional, inner, mystical, platonic, delicate, sensitive, fine, and intelligent. Spirituality is often related to the liberation of the soul trapped or dominated by the material. Spirituality is the moral, psychic, or cultural disposition possessed by those who tend to investigate and develop the characteristics of their spirit. This decision usually implies the intention to experience special states of well-being, such as salvation or liberation. It is also related to the practice of virtue. It is possible to speak of spiritual practices without being specifically under what we consider organized religion. Modern notions of spirituality developed through the 19th and 20th centuries, synthesizing Christian ideas with Eastern esoteric tradition, especially from India, spirituality became increasingly detached from traditional religious organizations and institutions. I was taught a lot by Professor Ramiro Calle. Ralph Waldo Emerson pioneered the idea of spirituality as a field distinct from traditional religion, which led to Unitarian Universalism, the idea that there should be truth in other religions as well, since a loving God would redeem all living beings, not just Christians. All religions have great truths and great lies. One of the major influences of modern spirituality was the Theosophical Society, which sought secret teachings in ancient spiritual traditions. A second related influence was anthroposophy, whose founder, Rudolf Steiner, was particularly interested in developing an authentic Western spirituality. The influence of ancient traditions on modern Western spirituality was also fostered by the perennial philosophy, whose main proponent, Aldous Huxley, was deeply influenced by Swami Vivekananda. The distinction between the spiritual and the religious became more common in the popular mind in the late 20th century, with the rise of secularism. The decline in the membership of organized religions and the growth of secularism in the Western world has given rise to his broader view of spirituality. The term spiritual is now often used in context where the term religious was previously used. New World. Evolving World by Nicola Christie. We live in unprecedented times of accelerating change, which are evident all around us and which we experience in all areas of our lives, from political, economical, and financial to social and religious. More and more people are asking questions about their basic human rights and general well-being, and are beginning to question the influence that external powers have on our lives. Non-content with the dismissive responses of those in positions of power who seem to be sparing in your life, people are beginning to recognize that they have the freedom to decide. The balance between power and empowerment is beginning to shift. Humankind is at an imminent threshold that is about to take it to a new paradigm. We are witnessing the early stages of the birth of a new world. Everything will change as this new world emerges, as prophesied long ago by many advanced indigenous cultures, and foreshadowed by the rare astronomical alignments currently taking place, including the completion of a 26,000-year galactic cycle. We are witnessing the collapse of political, economic, social, and financial systems as people respond to the call of the new world of our time and of their soul. Revolution. These courageous people are seeking a better quality of life, equality, to have their basic survival needs met, and a general sense of well-being, all of which are our fundamental birthright. People are reclaiming their individual and social power, and if they can use this wisely, it will help empower millions of humankind around the world. We are witnessing a cultural revolution on a global scale. The energy of change is sweeping the globe. People are awakening to the reality of their lives and the current state of the world. And at the spotlight of these changes is spirituality. Are religion and spirituality the same thing? At the heart of all religion is spiritual heart, but this spiritual heart, like the human heart, lies buried under thousands of years of conditioning and distortion, which has hidden the pure heart of spirituality. The heart of religion and the humankind's heart are no different in their historical destiny. For the most part, both have remained buried under eons of fear-based contracts that have manifested a distorted and unrecognizable caricature of religion and humankind. It is said that all rivers flow into the same ocean, and that similarly all spiritual traditions lead to the same fundamental message and meaning. Contemporary spirituality. Contemporary spirituality is an extraction of the purest essence of all religion. It is that which lies at the heart of all religions and at the heart of any spiritual practice or philosophy that has been developed a complex doctrine, an inaccurate and integrist set of scriptures and text, and a dysfunctional set of rules and codes of conduct. It is an actual spirituality that speaks directly to us now in the times in which we live. It is a path that brings our spiritual focus into the now. Religion is an ancient system that was born at an unrecognizable and very different time in our ancient humankind's history. In ancient humankind's history, its rise to prominence took place when our conscious evolution was in its formative stages. The heart of religion was adapted beyond all original meaning by those in power to control, manipulate and dominate the humankind of 2000 years ago and more. Our conscious evolution has come a long way since then. We are no longer in the infantile stage of our conscious evolutionary development. Perhaps the bad guys try to behave themselves at the last minute in order to reduce their sentence when they are judged. Therefore, it is completely out of context to follow an outdated religious doctrine created by and for our less evolved predecessors. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. 7 pillars. The following is a list of the 7 pillars of contemporary spirituality. Each is a teaching in itself, and all tend to be explored, practiced, and embodied at the same time. Each supports the transformation of the shadow into a beautiful and expansive light that can surround us and radiate from us. The 7 pillars are as follows: unconditional love, empathy, compassion, forgiveness, conscious communication, unconditional positive regard, and compassionate action. When these 7 fundamental qualities of contemporary spirituality are mastered and lived realities every day, we will have achieved self-mastery. It is then that our true essence is awakened. This happens when the heart becomes fully transparent. We will live in a transcendent world when all humankind embodies this path as reality. Uncorrupted path. Contemporary spirituality consists of a path that is uncorrupt, uncomplicated, and not fundamentalist or dogmatic. It is an expression of spirituality and religion in its purest form. It represents the true heart of all religion, which was hidden by power-hungry rulers long ago. The heart of contemporary spirituality is open and available for all to see. It is a heart exquisite in its simplicity, transparency, beauty, and purity. Excuse me. Contemporary spirituality invites us to self-mastery, in which we learn to master our body, senses, emotions, thoughts, and life. It encourages us to cultivate self-discipline, self-love, self-awareness, self-knowledge, and self-realization. Discipline is important for achieving goals. It leads us on a clear path, devoid of rules, judgments, expectations, dogmas, or fundamentalist belief systems. It guides us towards enlightenment. It doesn't require intellectual predisposition, as it is a language of the heart. The joy of contemporary spirituality is in its simplicity. It is a way forward for humankind back to the original core. It gently encourages and guides us to set aside dualistic and separatist religious indoctrination and instead embrace the concept of equality, unity, and unification as one world family with the religion of love and solidarity. This is something we are now ready to embrace as contemporary, consciously evolving humankind. The devil speaks in shouts and God speaks in whispers, so we need to sharpen a spiritual perception. The shadow of the light. Contemporary spirituality embraces the human shadow, recognizing that when we explore ourselves with awareness and are therefore engaged in our own evolutionary process, the shadow is not darkness but light. Contemporary spirituality dismisses the existence of a fundamental dark nature within the human being and instead recognizes that there exists within each of us a primal wound, a separation from source. However, this is not a wound that we must bear as part of the humankind. We experience it only because we have immersed ourselves in dualism, caused by the misinterpretation or obscuration of what lies at the heart of spiritual philosophies throughout humankind's history. The shadow of light is referred to as such because by becoming aware of and healing the humankind's shadow, its existence has brought us greater enlightenment. When compassion and empathy are offered as balms with which the human shadow can be healed and transformed, this facilitates its integration and the conscious evolution of the human being. For thousands of years, we have lived under dictatorships, flawed regimes, and a misinterpretation of the fundamental meaning of all religions, which is love. We have lived in duality on a personal and collective level. We have been separated from the heart of religion and spirituality, and therefore from our own hearts. The primal wound of humankind, separation from source, is a wound that can be healed. The way to heal all perceived sense of separation is to become love, for we have never really been separate. We have only perceived ourselves as such. Live, breathe, sleep, and live. Love in every moment. To be a master of the heart, to reclaim and embody our natural state of being, which is affection. This is what lies at the heart of contemporary spirituality, a new way forward for a new humankind and a new world in freedom. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.